Hello, Facebook. I just wanted to share some prayers today because of what happened today at Mercy Hospital. And I wanted to reach out to those people. And if you guys don't mind who's watching this, would you join me? The first thing I want to start off with 1 Timothy 1, first chapter, 18 and 19. Well, 1 Timothy chapter 1, verses 18 and 19. Reaching for faith. It says, Timothy, my son, I give you these instructions in keeping with the prophecies once made about you, so that by following them you may fight the good fight. Hold on to faith and a good conscience. And I wanted to share the rest of this prayer. Lead me in your instructions today, God. Let me clearly feel your directions as I work and make decisions. Maybe you will lead someone to speak the word of the truth in my life. I have received encouragement and wisdom through friends and even strangers in the past. Do not let me feel alone in my efforts. Direct me towards the fellowship of other believers. Let them counsel me in your way. I will hold on to my faith tightly today, Lord, and wait upon your wisdom. Now, unfortunately, thing happened yesterday. I don't want to bring up the young lady's name, but I do want to touch base on this. About our faith. Women get themselves in certain situations with men that they don't think about the consequences that it may could happen to others. And what happened last night could have been prevented if she would have talked to someone in her family, talked to a minister, or because there's always signs. You will always get signs on a relationship that's going bad. I don't know Miss O'Neill, and God knows that I prayed for her last night, and others knows who heard me. That I prayed for them also, as well as the officers who lost their life. And I know Mrs. O'Neill could have said something to someone, or maybe our spirit's talking code. So when we approach people, we talk to people, we always communicating in that way because that's the way that the Father has for us. So I know someone could have talked to her, read her lips, or maybe she could have went to her ministry. You know, sometimes we have private lives so private that we don't want to relate or even discuss our problems with someone. That's why God gives us ministers, bishops, prophets, and prophecies, and individuals that we can reach out and talk to when we don't want to talk to our personal pastor about it. They're always there too, assistant pastors, and so on and so on. But that situation could have been prevented because God give us the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding to reach out to those people and call on his name in time of need. So I don't want to put the blame on the young lady. She could have been a cousin of mine. She could have been a best friend of mine. But my point is that I want to say is that someone could have heard something and not realize that they did it. So we need to pay more attention to when we talk to our friends and our family, because they could be telling us something and we really don't know it, because our spirit is talking to each other and we don't even pay any mind to it. So we need to be more clear and precise when we speaking with someone, instead of and also pay attention to them. So the man, her fiance that killed her, was a ex fire department employee. Not to put it on the fire department, but he did get fired for something that he did regarding some other incidents. That's what I had read today on Yahoo News. So, but there's always signs that can prevent you from even making the slightest mistake in your life as far as a man is concerned, ladies, because we need to be mindful of these things. If you find trouble in your relationship early on, you know there's going to be trouble. It's not going to go away because it's going to always resurface and come back up. And instead of man going to God and finding God for guidance, he don't go to God and find God for guidance. Whatever is bothering him, he relies on drugs. He relies on alcohol instead of being the man that God made him to be. He substitute the father for something else. And women do that too. We substitute the father for something else. The love that we want for our father, the father, in reference to God, we don't rely on God for those things. We rely on man for those things, and we cannot rely on a man for those things. We have to rely on the father because the father is our husband first. Because that's and 1 Timothy. I don't have my Bible with me. I'm sorry. I don't have it with me. Hold on for one moment. I know I did. Oh, I'm prepared. That woman needs to realize that the man is in control, but also the father is her husband first of all. And when you talk to him and rely on him first, then everything else he would guide you and let you know if the relationship that you're going to go through is wrong for you, or if the relationship is going to do you for you is right. And it talks about also, I'm doing a book on Adam and Eve. So that man might not have been her soulmate, and he might not have been the right man for her, and his spirit was probably telling him that, but he had reject what the father was telling him in his heart, and he participated and continued to be with her in the relationship anyway, and he should never have done that. But I have written I'm in the process of writing a book about Adam and Eve and how they were joined as soulmates when God took rib from Adam and made Eve. But that could have been what he was fighting. Could have been fighting his spirit and his flesh, because the woman could have probably I'm quite sure wasn't his soulmate. I'm sure of that, but they stayed together anyway. Because see, when these situations happen, that's why God tells us early on in life, do not participate in sex before marriage, because I am a true God and I have your soulmate waiting for you if only you do and follow the 10 commandments in which I have placed upon you. Now, this situation have happened, and women are still going through the same thing they're going through. They still been in the same dumb relationship. They still categorizing themselves as hoochie mamas, or they're categorizing themselves as dogs and heat, or whatever the case may be, because I've been some places that I heard women say this. So, like I said, Mrs. O'Neal wasn't in print with the young man, and instead of them just walking away from each other and she finding her true mate, her true soulmate, who God intended for her to be with, they stayed together. When she finally did decide to break up with him, that's when the tragedy have happened. Because later on, a woman would find out if she's joined. Just say for instance, ladies, if you 16, 17 years old and you participated in sex already, your join for your soulmate cannot be joined because you already committed fornication against your husband, who got assigned to him. And what if, per se, that he had already did it, before you even participated in a sexual relationship with another man. So the imprint that you had on that man is still there, and there's nothing going to go right in his life because his imprint is with you, and nothing's going to go right in your relationships because your imprint is in with him. So it's like back and forth. You keep ending up being with the woman, end up being with the different man because she haven't really been with her soulmate. She haven't joined with her soulmate. So your soul and your spirit is rejecting it. It's participating in the flesh now because there's no other way for her to even relate to anything else but in the flesh because she don't have a soulmate. But once you have your soulmate, you feel complete. So what that situation that happened, I can tell you something about as far as Mercy Hospital, because I don't want to keep talking about that. But my point is that I'm talking about ladies in general, women who needs to get saved, who need to be to save their life and get saved and be back with the Father as their husband before they do anything else. Those who are married already know this because they joined together with their husband in Christ. So, but those who are married that's not joined with their husband in Christ, they're going to get a divorce because they're not going to be able to stay with them. The chemical balance and the offspring in which the Father had created for each one of his children, a mate, is not going to merge together because that one.
You about Thanksgiving.
Like I was